it looks like what we have feared may be happening now. And I'll caveat that by saying it's early. We're about 48 hours into this. We need to wait another 2 or 3 days to see what happens next. But there has been a major breakthrough, the biggest one in 2 years in the Pokrovsk front, north of Pokrovsk. We're going to talk about what all of this means and what is likely to come out of the Friday meeting with Colonel Doug Macgregor, big friend of the show, former defense and former advisor to Secretary of Defense and Foreign Policy analyst, and highly decorated combat veteran. Doug, as always, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks, Dan.
Well, listen, let's just get right to the first part of this. Let's kind of bypass a lot of the noise going on in Washington and Brussels, et cetera, and look at what's happening actually on the ground, because that's where it seems to always matter, because whatever's going to happen diplomatically, pivot off what's real on the ground. Are you surprised by this incursion near Pokrovsk?
No, not really. I think the Russians have, as you pointed out, never been focused on territory, always focused on the destruction of the enemy. And from their standpoint, the good news is there isn't much enemy left on the ground anymore. In recent weeks and months, they've encountered fewer and fewer Ukrainian troops to oppose them, which shouldn't surprise anybody. I think they've just about run out of manpower. When you're starting to raise battalions of boys and old men, you're in pretty bad shape, and that's effectively where they are right now. Now, someone suggested to me recently that perhaps this is timed somehow or another for the summit. I don't think it is. I think they know that they are now in a position to exploit these broken fronts, specifically in, as you point out, in Pokrovsk. I think they're going to be deep penetrations. They're not far from Zaporizhia and the bridge at Zaporizhia. It's still in good repair. I think they'll go there. I mean, why wouldn't they at this point? There's nothing really to stop them. And they're recruiting about 35,000 new soldiers every month. An estimated 150,000 right now are in training and preparation. I mean, the Russians are on top of this. They've got control of everything. They've effectively won the war militarily. The question is, how far do they go? And I think that depends to some extent on what they learn from Trump. Although, admittedly, I don't think they're going to learn much.
And for those who may not have seen, because this is still relatively new information, I want to show a couple of shots here from Denis Davidov, who is a unabashed pro-Ukrainian blogger and war mapper. But he's also one of the more honest when his side is not doing well. And that's the case right here. Here, first of all, he's explaining what did happen in Pokrovsk.
So it was yesterday. I said you before, yesterday, that it's critical. Ukraine should urgently send the reinforcements, and it is right now. So they already expanded this bridgehead. Now I might say that it would be the miracle if Ukraine stops or cuts this Russian attack. Usually it's not happening like that. So the urgent action already required, like it required maybe even 1 week ago. So Russians were really fast, and the confirmation about their attack pace definitely 10 kilometers per day. And again, it's the mistake done by Ukrainian command in this specific direction. They were not able to see this Russian attack. And again, it's the mistake of the Ukrainian defense. So yeah, just in 3 days, you see 1, 2, 3. Guys, it haven't been like this for a very long time. Moreover, according to my information, and we may see it on the map, we have the reports also from our officers and soldiers on the ground, that Russians already cut the road from Dobropilya to Kramatorsk.
And I wonder, Doug, if you can give us any estimation of why cutting that road is so important between Dobropilya and Kramatorsk. Why is it important to the Eastern Front?
Well, as we know, that's a logistical line of communication. I mean, they move a great deal of equipment and supplies up and down that road. They move forces up and down that road. When that's cut in an area where you don't have a lot of good roads, I mean, when you go to that part of the world, between cities, you may have 1 or 2 asphalted roads. When I say cities, towns, things like that. But there's not much out there. So if you capture this road, that puts the Ukrainians north and south of each other in a very serious position. They can't mutually reinforce. They can't help each other. And they're not likely to receive the supplies, whatever they've got right now, that allows them to keep fighting. So I think we're looking at a desperate situation. I'm surprised that he was as honest and straightforward about it as he was. Well, I think the Ukrainian army is exhausted. It simply has nobody to put into the field right now. And even if they put someone in, who are they putting in? Well-trained, well-disciplined, well-equipped troops? No, they're throwing cannon fodder into the fight. I think the Russians know it, and I think the Russians are taking advantage of it. I'm a little surprised they've waited as long as they have.